Yeah, I'm back for another video. It's been a long time since I've done a video. Let me do one. That doesn't mean I haven't been trading. I've definitely been trading. I'm currently looking at the Bitcoin chart on Bitstamp, weekly chart, and this is what I got. So one of the last videos I kind of done was back in October on one of these Telegram groups that I've got. And it was here where I was saying, I don't like it. I said I didn't like it. I said the trade was that 618. I'm looking at total 2 chart, yeah? So everything excluding Bitcoin, yeah? And riding it up there. And I said that was the trade to take. If you miss that trade, that's it. If we're not able to close above that orange line, it's over because it looks like a 2021 move. It looked like a 2021 move. That was the, I'm saying it right there. Printing the bearish RSI divergence. I've mentioned it. You can see on the chart. That's me. Didn't like it. Now let's go to that total 2 chart. Let's go and have a look at that total 2 chart. There it is right there, yeah? We're going to go on a daily to zoom in. So that was in October, yeah? There was the move right there. And I said, I didn't like it. I said, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way we was rolling over like that. We was producing highs, but it was taking longer to get to these highs. It was taking longer and barely making a move. It looked like 2021, in all honesty. So I wasn't for it. I was getting bearish from there. So I turned into a bear at this point. It wasn't able to close above that orange line. And I think in that group, I began shorting Bitcoin at 121K. 121K. Yeah, 121.5K. Up 27, and at the current price is 78 grand. So yeah, my percentage is much more than that right now. So a fantastic trade. All right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's go back to my chart here. What's going on? Yeah. Okay. What I've got on this chart, let me remove my RSIs. What I've got on this chart, let's change it to a weekly so I can zoom out a little bit. Let's give you a little bit of space. What I've got is the bear market length and the bull market length. Why have I got time? Why am I measuring time? Because I think time is more important than price, yeah? Okay, cool. So the red line is when the bear market started and the green line is when the bull market started, okay? So it took 61 bars or 427 days in the 2013 bear market. That's when it started and it ended in December 2014, okay? 427 days, okay? The bull market, 152 days. Next bull market, 153 bars. Sorry, I said 152 days. 152 bars. 153 bars. Again, the third time, 152 bars. Everyone was going on about some sort of super cycle and all of that sort of nonsense, but the pattern's there. Until the pattern's broken, I'm just going to follow that pattern. And that's what the pattern is, right? So I'm just going to continue to follow that pattern. And that's one of the reasons why I went bearish and why I took that short at 121K. I'm just following the data. So cool. Again, so if we was to sort of forecast out, what does that look like now? So I've put on the 52 bars here, 364 days. Okay. And I've also added one which is 427 days. Because if we was to repeat what we did back in the 2013 bear market, that's where that would take us to. So what dates are those? Well, for the 364 day bar, okay, from the top, from Bitcoin's top, okay, that takes us to approximately September, late September, okay, all the way to December, okay, 7th of December. Cool. That's the forecast. Time is more important than price. So I want to be buying around these areas, okay? That's when I want to start thinking about spotting it in if I'm looking at time. Now, I don't want to just measure time. I also do want to measure price as well, right? How far do we usually draw down? And I've got the drawdowns here. In the first bear market, that was like 84%, right? Second, 77.5%. I think I've got the first one. Oh, here's the first initial one. 86, 84, then 77. Okay, so we've never gone further than the previous bear market. So I've got the 77 there. All right, 77.7. I've kind of lined that up with one of the fibs here, and this fib, this 618 fib, this is coming from the previous bull market. Yep, that 2021 bull market, the one where it topped in 2021. We all remember that one. Most of us was here for that. And 77% drawdown. takes us to the 618 at 28k. Do I think we're going to get there? I think that's a bit too much because that's slightly further than this 77%. So I think around this 50%, round to about this 786 is a really crucial point. All right, we might not get there. Doesn't need to do it. Doesn't need to, but it's nice. It's a nice number. So I'd say have 40k in the back of your mind. Have 40k in the back of your mind. Cool, because every time we have had a pullback, okay, in the bear market, we go below the 786. Okay, the bear market to bull market, it has gone below the 786. So if we look back here in the 2018, we came below the 786 for a couple of months, and it's a great opportunity to buy, right? Okay, back here as well, let's give ourselves some space. Back here, it came below the 786 as well. Great time to buy. Great time to buy. So I say anything from below the 50% to the 618 area, 786, that sort of area is a great place to start accumulating Bitcoin for the long term. Does it need to do it? It doesn't need to do anything. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of time when I'm sort of thinking about purchasing, and also the price numbers. I really like around the 40k area, that sort of 786, that sort of area. But I did buy some Bitcoin to trade because it came down to my trend line here. I've had this trend line for a while, this one here, and why I kept this in is because Bitcoin hadn't retested this since breaking out of this abnormal bar here, this God candle. We didn't come back and retest this trend line, and this was an important trend line. The fact that it sort of somewhat aligned with the 618 here as well is why I thought it was good support, potential support to buy. Okay, you know I love my 50%, but the golden ratio is ideal for me. Okay, it's ideal for me. So I bought some Bitcoin here. If you're buying Bitcoin for your spot position for the long term in this area, go for it. That's cool. I'm just holding mines to just do a quick trade. I think I've got enough Bitcoin. So even if we were to pump from here, I'm all right with the Bitcoin stack that I got. I'm happy with it. If Bitcoin goes to zero, that's fine. I'm happy with it. I'm all right with my stack, but I don't mind getting this trade. Okay, where might we go to? We might visit these previous support points. Where's my thing here? We might visit these support points. I'm hoping we get a bounce to this area where we can take some profit from this, and the profit level from there to there is about 33%. So that's a nice little profit move if we ever make it there, but that's what I'm sort of betting on. Yeah, that's my kind of bet at the moment. If we push back up here, I'll take off what I've put in and leave the rest and hold some more Bitcoin. You know, who knows? We might pump up a little higher and then have a crash. I expect us to come further down, but who knows, right? If we sort of dwindle along here until like the October, earliest I'm thinking is just early quarter three. So that's like starts from July, right? So like if we end up doing this and we're around this area for July onwards for quarter three, then I'll be buying some Bitcoin no matter where we are. I'll be DCAing in, but that's just my strategy. You do what you want to do. That's my strategy. But I couldn't help it. I had to buy some for a trade right here. So that's what I'll do. I'll buy some here, and if we do continue down, then I will buy the 786. I'll put more on the 786 and think about de-risking here if we bounce up here like that. But we'll see as the time comes. So that's kind of how I've got my charts mapped out. I imagine if you was in alts, people just got fucking wrecked. Let's have a look at like ADA, 26 cents. Wow. Arweave. Let's have a look at some of these charts because I haven't look at this. There's no second best, you know. There's no second best. New lows, Arweave. Remember when Arweave was spoken about? Cosmos. Man, I used to love this project. I mean, look at it, right? Like, look at that. Look at that. AVAX. Remember when everyone used to speak about AVAX? Wow, I've still got some stuff on the chart. Plotting out this small area here and it's coming down lower. My gosh. Altcoins. Bitcoin Cash actually doesn't look too bad, but it's got Bitcoin Cash in the name. BNB. This is one of the few altcoins that I would ever consider going into when the new bull market is established, because it's one of the very few altcoins that have produced higher highs in the new bull market. Okay, most coins don't do that. I just mentioned Cosmos here, bull market, the 2021 bull market. Okay, when did we low? We lowered in 2022, which is around this low here. I remember Cosmos Atom, this token here, was one of the first coins to move up. It was even moving faster than Bitcoin, and I was buying Cosmos here, and in the end it just failed. Lower highs throughout the entire bull market. I got out, of course, you know, once it started breaking some significant support levels, but bro, like these altcoins, it's over. Well, for this cycle it was over. It didn't do anything deep. Look at this. My god, this is the fate of majority of altcoins. Polkadot, remember when Polkadot was, oh my gosh. So you can see the last time I was actually drawing lines on this chart was way back up there, and it's broken those lows. FET, okay, FET hasn't broken to new lows yet, but FET was something I was looking at. HBAR had some moves this cycle as well. Wasn't able to beat its previous highs from 2021. Again, lower highs. Helium, right? Helium on the Solana network. Remember when everyone was buying those Helium routers, and that was mining Helium? Look at that right now. Injective. What's Injective doing? There's not even any point. Near, the darling. Near, I had a bag of Near. Luckily I sold some, but broken that support line there. Okay, broken that support line. Once that's in, you gotta get out. And all the rest really, right? TR, I remember wanting to, oh my gosh, look at this chart. Fuck, I know, if you lot was in it, oh, you lot are fucked. XRP, I've never really fucked with XRP too much. But yeah, I mean, it's this bar, it was always going to fill this bar up. At least got to come and test some of these lows at 95 cents most likely, and build another campaign to sort of go up again. So it's got to do what it's got to do. Obviously things like gold has been taking the center stage. There were points in time where I was swapping my gold for Bitcoin. Yeah, as you can see, I've got it drawn out on the chart here. The aim was to take some profits at the 50%. It was, yeah, I drew it lower. I'm pretty sure I didn't have it at this 50%, but yeah, I didn't manage to profit too much out of that. But let's see what happens anyway. I'm in a Bitcoin trade, as I said. So I've told you a lot where I've been looking to buy. Quarter free for me. And if it hits 40k, depending on how it reacts to 40k, if it slices through this like this and then just hits it, I'll probably take a risky bet, of course, to trade it. But if it somewhat comes down like this and comes into quarter free, starts going across and building that campaign, then that's me. That's me. But I love a bear, you know. I love a bear market. It's the best time. No froth, no garbage. Everyone's silent, and that's what I'm waiting for. That sort of coming down, that sort of coming here. Oh, it's dying. Bitcoin's not Michael Saylor maybe getting liquidated or whatever the hell they start saying at that time. It's a slow process. It really is a slow process, and that's what I'm waiting for. Those are the times that I love, and I just buy Bitcoin down there. But let's see what happens to the 18.6 year cycle as well, you know, because if it is the top of the cycle, then you know we're supposed to have a multi-year long bear market. So let's see what happens with that. But that's what's going on with the trades. I'm still here. I'm still trading. I'm still making money. You know, as I said, I'm 3,000 up on my short. I'll hold this short. I've got my stop loss somewhere at 70s, I think, something like that. So we'll see how that goes. But I wish you lot all the luck. But then again, what do I know? Take it easy.